Hi, my name is Billy Flowers, and welcome to my channel where I talk about velocity banking and how we can use this strategy to massively pay off debt. So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to pay off a $20,000 Capital One credit card. Yes, $20,000. So, let's get started. So, first off, we're going to be talking about our four key numbers. We have our income of $5,000. Our expenses are currently at $3,800. Our debt, which is the credit card, is at $20K, and our cash flow is at $1,200. Now, the monthly payment on the credit card is $800 per month. Yes, you're reading this right. $800 per month. That's a pretty sizable monthly payment. And the interest rate on it is 25%. Our rent is at $1,300 per month. We have a car payment at $500 a month. And the rest of the bills that we can pay with the credit card to collect those rewards is $1,200. Now, the interest that will get charged on this credit card, if we only pay the minimum monthly payment, is $5,000 for the first year. $5,000, yes. And $416.17 per month, and $13.70 per day. Now, since this is a credit card, we can't not pay all of our bills with the credit card. So our rent and our car payment, which equals $1,800, has to stay in the bank account, in your bank account. And the rest, the $3,200, is actually what we're going to put on the card. Now, before we get started, since we are dumping $3,200 into this credit card, what is that going to get rid of? If our monthly payment is $800 and we're putting $3,200 into this card, would we still have a monthly payment? Think about that for a second. No, we wouldn't. So immediately, we're getting rid of this monthly payment. Correct? Right? That's going to lower our expenses $800. So minus 800. Our expenses are going to be $3,000 now. And what happened? We're going to get that cash flow, right? We're going to get it. Plus 800. So now our cash flow is $2,000. Yes, $2,000. Day one. So let's see how this works. Month one. Our balance of the credit card is $20,000. Our income going in is $3,200. It's going to lower the balance down to $16,800. Our expenses are $1,200. Now notice the difference between our income that we're putting in and our expenses. $2,000, right? That's how math works. Correct. So that's going to raise the balance up to $18,000. Now we're going to get charged interest, and that's going to be $375, which is going to raise the balance up to $18,375 at the end of month one. Month two, income goes in, expenses come out, raises the balance up to $16,375. Interest we're getting charged in month two is $341.50. Raises the balance up to $16,716.15 at the end of month two. Month three, income in, expenses out, balance $14,716.50. Interest we're getting charged now is $306.59. Raises the balance up to $15,022.74 at the end of month three. Month four, income in, expenses out, raises the balance up to $13,022.74. Interest, $271.31. Balance, $13,294.80. at the end of month 4. Now notice, in 4 months, we went from getting charged $375 in interest. Now we're all the way down to $271. It's a little over $100. Not too bad. I'll take it. Month 5, income in, expenses out, lowers the balance or raises the balance up to $11,294.05. Interest getting charged now is $235.29. Balance is $11,529.34 at the end of month 5. Month 6, income in, expenses out, balance $9,529.34. Interest now we're under 200, $198.53. Raises the balance up to $9,727.87 at the end of month 6. Month 7, income in, expenses out. Balance is going to be $7,727.87. The interest, $161. Balance, $7,888.87 into month 7. Month 8, income in, expenses out, $5,888.87. We have our interest, $122.68. $6,011.55 is going to be the ending balance at the end of month 8. Month 9, income in, expenses out, $4,011.55 is the balance. Interest is going to get charged this month. Now we're under $100, $83.57. Now the balance is going to be $4,095.12 at the end of month 9. Month 10, income in, expenses out. Now our balance is $2,095.12. The interest we're going to get charged is $43.65, bringing the balance up to $2,138.77. Now been watching these videos. Once the expenses come out and your balance is lower than what you've been putting in, we've been putting in $3,200 this whole time. We know the payoff is coming. It's right at the tip. We ready. What's going to happen? Month 11, expenses going to come out. I did a little flip here just so you can see it a little better. We didn't want to go on the negative. Expenses going to come out first, and then raises the balance up to $33,38.77. Our income's going to go in of $3,200, leaves a balance of $138.77. We're just going to get charged $2.89, which is peanuts. Raises the balance up to $141.66. So in month 10 or month 11, we're just going to pay this bad boy off and we're done. $20,000. Now, you may be asking yourself, when I did this little flip here and I had this $138 balance. Now, we can pay this, we can actually be done with this right now. You want to know why? Because we were getting rewards on this credit card this whole time. So $1,200 at 1.5%. Let's just say rewards were 1.5%. Right? That will equal about $18 a month. So if we collected $18 a month for, let's say, all the way down here for 10 months, so 10 times 18 is $180. So just using the rewards alone, we'll be done with this in 10 months. Not 11, 10 months. Done. That's it. $20,000 paid off, starting with $1,200. Now, something I always like to do as well is see if we actually paid this 25% on this credit card. So what are we going to do? We're going to add up all the interest that we got charged this entire time, right? And we're going to see if we actually paid 25%. So I always like to do this together. So break out your calculators. I'll break out mine on my phone. And we're just going to add up all the interest. So the first month is $375. Second month, $341.15. Next, we have $306.59. Next, we have $271.31. Next, we have $235.29 plus $198.53 plus $161 plus $122.68 plus we're over here now, 83.57 plus 43.65, and we're just going to add this $2.89 just for fun, since we got it written down, but we know we're not even going to be getting charged this, but we're going to write it down anyway. All right, plus 289. So that's going to equal, let's see here, interest that we paid is $2,141.66. This is how much interest that we actually paid. And this is also on the high end because I calculated the interest off of the high balance of every month. So this is the highest that we're going to be paid in interest. Most likely you're going to be paying a lot less than this, but we're just going to go by this number. So now we're going to go on Google, right? And we're going to ask Google what percent of this number, this 2,000 right here, is what percent of the 20,000, right? You know, we've done this before, so we're just gonna talk to Google. $2,141.66 is what percent of 20,000? You ready for this? I'm ready. You ready? I mean, this is kind of simple math too, but $10.71%. That's what we actually paid in interest. 10.71%. Yes, that's what we actually paid, and it kind of makes sense, right? Because we have $20,000 here. 10% of $10,000 would be 1,000. So if we double that, $20,000, 10% of $20,000 would be $2,000. And as you can see here, this is a little bit over $2,000. So that's how we get this little decimal point. This 0.71%, right? And this is on the high end. So if we actually calculate this interest exactly how it's supposed to be, we probably would be under 10%. But the card said 25%. Everybody said, oh, the interest rate on them credit cards is high. Well, we only paid 10.71%. That's That's reasonable right there. Wouldn't you agree on $20,000? I I would think so. So let's just say this took us the full 11 months to pay off, even though we got through in 10. So we paid off $20,000 in credit card debt on this Capital One credit card, starting off with $1,200, and we paid it off in 10, 11 months. Who would have thought that would have been possible? Well, Velocity Banking showed you how it is possible. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. And like I always say, get that cash flow.